SteveMacDonald. Steve is an award-winning blogger and the managing editor and a co-owner of GraniteGrok.com. He serves on the board of directors of the 603 Alliance and is a former board member of the Republican Liberty Caucus of New Hampshire. He was a founding member of the New Hampshire Republican Volunteer Coalition and is a past contributor to the Franklin Center for the Public Policy. Help me give a warm welcome to SteveMacDonald.
Thank you. So many of you heard of the internet?
There's a reporter here.
You ever seen a wrong opinion on the internet? Now, can you hear me? Is that better? All right. Have you ever heard of a wrong opinion on the internet, maybe about a firearm or the Second Amendment? You probably come across them every day. Our first instinct when we stumble upon something like that is to drop the rhetorical equivalent of a fuel air bomb on their opinion, obliterate it, and everybody around it. I'd like to suggest there might be another way to do that, a more instructive way, a way for us to educate and inform people when we come across things like that online. So we've got 5 basic rules for consideration. Rule number 1, when engaging with wingnut gun-grabbing leftists, remember, they are not your audience. No amount of logic will turn them, but that does not mean we cannot use them. Whether in the real world or the digital world, the people lurking along the edges are those to whom we are trying to speak. Most regular folks grasp the idea, the basic concept that they're allowed to defend themselves from attack. But they may not know exactly how to articulate that right, or why it must extend to firearms. Before you engage, think about what you might say that could move them to embrace the good word of the natural right to self-defense. Rule number 2, this comes to us from Napoleon. Never stop your opponent from making a mistake. Anti-gun enthusiasts are ruled almost entirely by emotion. Very few of them act out of reason. Most of them know nothing about the subject or only know the approved anti-2A talking points. They are easily triggered and very poorly informed. Let them be who they are. Your job is not their conversion. There will be no Second Amendment come to Jesus moment for these people. But they will give you the rhetorical rope with which to hang a great big sign for everyone else, watching, reading, listening, as to why the Second Amendment matters and why they need to help you defend it. Rule number 3 comes from the movie Roadhouse. Be nice. Our rule number 3 is stay calm. No matter what they say, don't take it personally. Don't let them make you into them. Stay calm even when it looks like it might be time to not be calm. If you are debating a gun-grabbing Marxist on social media and you find you can't type fast enough to get your reply out, take a breath. Type a response, slow down, write it in a Word document first, read it and reread it. Make sure it says what you mean. Okay? Rule number 4. Not everyone who broaches the subject will broach it in ignorance. And they may not be a wingnut. They might not know. I turned the page too far and I can't read what I do. In many a calm social setting, a picnic, barbecue, a water cooler, social media forums, you may find yourself on the topic of firearms or self-defense. Frank Mintner, the editor of America's First Freedom, suggests polite, relevant, open-ended questions based on how the topic was broached. Why do you feel gun-free zones save lives? Why would disarming your neighbor make you feel safer? How would you feel if you were trapped in a public space with some madman who is assassinating people? Rule number 5. This is the last one. Spend some time on the debate range. The right to keep and bear arms requires that we know how to use those tools safely and effectively. We practice, we drill, we take classes, we read, we watch, and we learn. Even the most capable among us are constantly stretching and adding to our skill sets, reinforcing skills we've already learned. Invest some time on the debate range. Most of what we do to defend the right to keep and bear arms happens in public spaces like this. It happens in debates. It's a First Amendment argument. Challenge yourself. Ask the questions you're likely to get and then learn the best answers. Practice. Share what you discover with others. Commit to not just being good with a firearm, but being great at spreading the good word about our natural right to self-defense. You can use those same skills to testify at legislative hearings, to lead letter writing campaigns, to find ways to move hearts and minds and votes. Listen and understand. Here's another movie quote, if you figure out where it's from, slightly altered. That gun grabber is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't care about your rights, and it absolutely will not stop ever until those rights are dead. You cannot, nor should you, want to shoot your way past that. But you don't have to, not yet. There are millions of people who will embrace those rights, who can learn to cherish and protect them the way that we do. Judge Napolitano put it this way: the right to self-defense is a manifestation of the natural instinct for survival, born in the hearts of all rational people. One well-managed conversation might be all it takes to turn them toward the light. And once they've begun to turn, invite them to the range. Thank you.
Grok TV.